A woman named So-Ryu lived in a bustling town and had been best friends with Choi Sung-hyo for 10 years. Their friendship was special. They shared jokes, secrets, and memories. But after all this time, something more had blossomed. They finally admitted their feelings for each other and started dating. However, they had to keep their love a secret from their friends and coworkers. One evening, while trying to avoid being seen by their colleagues, So-Ryu found herself sitting on Sung-hyo's lap in a quiet corner. They shared a few moments of warmth, sneaking kisses in the shadows. The thrill of their hidden relationship made everything feel exciting and new. As the morning sunlight filtered through the curtains, they woke up next to each other, face to face, ready to start the day. So-Ryu couldn't shake the strange feeling inside her. It was a mix of happiness and nerves. Ever since they had started dating, there was this tingly sensation in her heart. Sung-hyo noticed her thoughtful expression and, with a gentle smile, said, "That's what love feels like." They had known each other for so long, and their love had quietly taken root over the years. Whether as a friend or a boyfriend, Sung-hyo had always been there for her, showing love in little ways that she hadn't even noticed before. Now, everything seemed to make sense. However, So-Ryu wasn't sure how to tell her parents about this new relationship. Just then, her mother's voice interrupted her thoughts. Her mom had been chatting with Sung-hyo's parents, who were always affectionate towards each other. This made her mom grumble a bit about how her own husband wasn't as caring. She walked into the house, still mumbling under her breath. So-Ryu and Sung-hyo, already dressed, sat casually in the living room pretending to read comics. They thought they had fooled her, but then her mother noticed something odd. Sung-hyo had buttoned his shirt wrong. Both So-Ryu and Sung-hyo exchanged nervous glances, their hearts racing. Would their secret love be discovered? They weren't sure, but one thing was clear. No matter what happened, they were in this together, ready to face whatever challenges came their way. After So-Ryu's mother noticed Sung-hyo's shirt buttons were mismatched, she chuckled and teased him for making such a simple mistake at his age. Luckily, she didn't suspect anything. Sung-hyo's father even stepped in to help fix the buttons, and just like that, the moment of panic was over. So-Ryu and Sung-hyo let out quiet sighs of relief. They had successfully avoided suspicion. The two then sat down with their parents for breakfast. Everything seemed normal, but suddenly, their parents began talking about setting them up with potential partners. To avoid any matchmaking, So-Ryu and Sung-hyo began playfully teasing each other, pointing out each other's faults. They joked that neither of them had the right personality to find a good match, hoping this would discourage their parents' plans. Seeing that their parents were serious about introducing them to someone new, Sung-hyo suggested that maybe they should reveal their relationship. But So-Ryu quickly disagreed. They had only started dating recently, and she didn't want their families to think she was too impulsive. She was also worried that if they made their love public, their parents might start imposing more rules on them, making it difficult for Sung-hyo to come and go freely from her house like he did now. Realizing this, Sung-hyo changed his mind and promised to keep their relationship a secret. And so, their hidden love story continued. They met up secretly, away from home, sharing hugs and going on picnics together. They would snuggle close while watching movies and even had fun playing games at the arcade. At night, So-Ryu visited Sung-hyo at his workplace, where they spent time together. One evening, Sung-hyo lifted So-Ryu onto the table, about to share a special moment, when suddenly, a male coworker showed up. Quickly, they ducked and sneaked around to avoid being seen, eventually escaping into Sung-hyo's office. There, in the safety of the dark, So-Ryu sat on his lap, and they shared a kiss, enjoying the thrill of their secret love. Later, So-Ryu took her cooking exam, and after she finished, Sung-hyo arrived with a bouquet of flowers. He opened the car door for her, showing his caring side, and sweetly told her that she was even more beautiful than the flowers he brought. On their way home, they ran into So-Ryu's younger brother and one of her female co-workers. Her brother noticed the flowers and asked if they were from Sung-hyo. Panicked, Seok Ryu quickly grabbed the bouquet and said they were from a business partner. But her coworker admired the flowers and insisted on taking them. After Seok Ryu's brother didn't think much of her grabbing the flowers, though he couldn't help but think she was being a bit bossy. Still, he didn't see Sung Hyo as an outsider and insisted on visiting Sung Hyo's office. Sung Hyo, feeling awkward, couldn't refuse, but Seok Ryu noticed his hesitation and tried to convince her brother to leave. However, her brother was stubborn and refused to budge. Lately, her brother had been selling protein powder, and one of Seok Ryu's female co-workers had even become his customer. While holding the product, the co-worker mentioned that this particular protein powder had recently gone viral online, but not for good reasons. It had been revealed that the powder didn't have the necessary food safety certifications and was found to contain mold. Her brother was shocked to hear this. He quickly opened a container of the powder and took a sniff. Just as his coworker had said, it smelled strange. Furious, Seok Ryu grabbed her brother by the arm and dragged him back home, scolding him for getting into trouble again. She explained to their parents that her brother had taken money from them to buy a large stock of protein powder to sell, but it turned out the product was not up to standard. To make matters worse, as the seller, her brother could even be sued by the customers he had sold the defective powder to. Feeling both guilty and frustrated, her brother admitted he had already sold 10 cans of the product. Now, the most important thing was to contact all the buyers, offer them refunds, and apologize, every single one of them. Their mother listened to the whole story and couldn't help but feel a bit disheartened. Her son was already in his 30s, yet he was still unemployed and seemed to fail at everything he tried. She sighed, wondering what more could go wrong. Seok Ryu's mother always held on to a sliver of hope, supporting her son's ideas no matter how they turned out. But once again, it felt like all their efforts amounted to nothing. Her brother finally opened up, admitting that he too wanted to be successful and make his family proud, hoping to give them a better life. With those feelings weighing on him, he began the process of contacting customers to arrange refunds. As he sat in his room, Seok Ryu came to comfort him, gently advising him not to obsess over achieving something grand. She told him that finding something he truly enjoys is already an achievement in itself. Before he started selling products, her brother had been a fitness trainer. In his determination to maintain his physique, he spent a year eating only chicken breast and protein supplements. Seok Ryu knew her brother was someone with great perseverance, and she had no doubt that he would succeed one day. Their mother, standing quietly outside the door, overheard the conversation between the siblings. A soft smile of relief appeared on her face, happy to hear their heart-to-heart talk. The next day arrived, the day when the results of the public cooking exam were to be announced. Sung Hyo opened his window, looking relaxed and confident. He proudly flaunted his achievement to Seok Ryu, as expected, passing the exam on his first try. He had even earned a special certification related to moisture control in food, an impressive feat. Overjoyed, Sung Hyo couldn't contain his excitement and immediately made plans to meet Seok Ryu. When they met, Sung Hyo pulled his girlfriend into a tight hug. The two had been close since childhood, and to anyone watching, it seemed like they were simply celebrating good news. Their happiness was contagious, and it was clear they were sharing a moment of triumph. After passing the cooking exam, Seok Ryu began planning his next steps. He wanted to find a job related to cooking. But Hae-in, ever the cautious one, humorously warned him to keep his distance from other women once he started working. In response, Seok Ryu teased back, saying that men who love cooking have the most attractive arm muscles. Not one to back down, Hae-in flexed his own muscles, claiming that in this area, he could easily rival any cooking guy. Filled with confidence, Seung started sending out his resume to various restaurants, hoping to land his dream job. Unfortunately, the restaurant he was most excited about didn't hire him. He looked through the group chat for his cooking class and saw that one of his classmates had been accepted at the restaurant he admired. That person even invited everyone to celebrate. Feeling a bit down, Seung met with his classmates. With a sense of humor, he joked about how all his applications seemed to have disappeared into a black hole. He wondered if it was because he was a bit older than others applying, making him less desirable to employers. His classmates tried to cheer him up, joking that maybe his resume was too impressive, making companies feel intimidated. Despite his disappointment, Seung was comforted by Hae-in's constant support. That evening, during a date at the office, Hae-in had some exciting news to share with Seung. He explained that there was an annual event called Architects' Night, held overseas, and this year, his design had been chosen as the best architecture project of the year. A grand award ceremony was being held, and he wanted to invite Seung to come along. However, Seung politely declined. No one else knew about their relationship yet, and attending such a public event didn't seem appropriate. Though Hae-in was visibly disappointed, he understood Seung's reasoning, and the small hiccup didn't affect their relationship. Later that day, Hae-in visited a restaurant he had designed and received a warm thank you from the owner, along with some delicious food as a token of appreciation. Without hesitation, he brought the food straight to Seung's house. When he arrived, Seung wasn't in the room, and clothes were scattered across the bed. But instead of feeling annoyed, Hae-in found Seung's messy room endearing, thinking how adorable he looked even in his disorganized state. As he started tidying up, he accidentally noticed some brochures on the desk, brochures about studying abroad. There were also detailed notes from Seung about college entrance consultations. From this, Hae-in pieced together that Seung was once again planning to study abroad, possibly leaving him behind. The realization made Hae-in furious. After all these years, Hae-in and Seung had finally managed to be together, and Hae-in deeply cherished the happiness they were sharing. So, why could Seung so casually choose to leave? This question tormented Hae-in, filling him with frustration and sadness. Unknown to Hae-in, Seung was struggling with his own inner turmoil. Leaving Hae-in wasn't an easy decision for him either. Despite his love, recent rejections from multiple restaurant job applications had left him feeling defeated. His decision to go abroad was not entirely about seeking better opportunities, but perhaps an escape from the problems he didn't know how to face. Deep down, Seung felt ashamed of his current situation. Being jobless, he couldn't help but feel inferior, especially next to Hae-in, who was thriving in his career. This embarrassment made him avoid attending the Architects' Night event with Hae-in. In truth, he was afraid that staying by Hae-in's side as someone without a career would only make him feel worse. After opening up about his feelings, Seung asked for a week apart to allow both of them time to think and cool down. He then quietly left, leaving Hae-in alone with his thoughts. In the following days, Hae-in found it impossible to stop thinking about Seung. Every moment was filled with memories of his lover, and he would often look at photos of Seung to ease his longing. On the other hand, Seung kept himself busy with his cooking research. Yet, even amidst his work, He occasionally found himself reaching for his phone, wondering if Hae-young had sent him any messages. The next day, Sok-ryu's younger brother came to visit. He expressed his gratitude to Sok-ryu, admitting that his words had helped him turn his life around. He promised to work hard to repay their mother and sincerely apologized for his past behavior. He explained that his constant rebellion and desire to compete with Sok-ryu stemmed from his own feelings of inferiority. "I always wanted to beat you, sister," he said softly. "But now I realize there's no point. We're family, and we don't need to be rivals." Sok-ryu's brother's words left him deep in thought. Perhaps he had been wrong to push Hae-young away out of his own insecurities. After much reflection, Sok-ryu decided to call Hae-young. At that moment, Hae-young was at a construction site for an inspection. When he saw the call from Sok-ryu, his heart leapt with joy. He was just about to answer when a sudden loud crash came from above. Panicked, Sok-ryu rushed to the emergency room, his heart pounding with fear for Hae-young's safety. When he finally saw Hae-young unharmed, relief washed over him, and he couldn't hold back his tears. After experiencing the terror of almost losing Hae-young, Sok-ryu found the courage to open up about his feelings. He scolded himself, calling himself a fool for ever thinking of separating from Hae-young. He promised never to leave Hae-young's side again. Hae-young, moved by Sok-ryu's sincerity, embraced him tightly. He confessed his love, saying how much he missed Sok-ryu and how hard it was for him to follow Sok-ryu's wish for space. Even when he was injured, the first thought that crossed his mind was how he could finally see Sok-ryu again. "I love you so much," Hae-young whispered. "So much that I feel frustrated because I can't find words stronger than 'I love you' to express how I truly feel." And with that, the episode came to an emotional close. That's the end of this story episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.